So EA dropped the announcement trailer yesterday for College Football 26. There were two big announcements in that trailer. Number one, the release date for College Football 26, which is July 10th. And then number two, the fact that high school is coming back to Road to Glory in College Football 26. But there were some smaller things that you may have missed in the trailer or just the information surrounding the announcement. So we're going to go over those things in this video here. And if you somehow did miss the announcement trailer and all of that, my last video is covering those big things that I just talked about. Okay, so these are some of the things you may have missed in the trailer and some of the information surrounding the trailer. So first, this looks like this is going to be the new score bug for College Football 26, so definitely different than College Football 25. I'm liking this. It looks pretty modern, pretty clean, so no complaints here. I will say there's definitely a lot more going on with this one than the one from CFB 25. But again, this is not a problem at all. I think this one looks pretty good. So zooming in here a little bit, you'll notice the team on the left on the scoreboard is the Delaware Blue Hens. So Delaware is one of two new FBS teams this upcoming season, them and Missouri State. So you can see their logo here and their team name, the Blue Hens. They're definitely going to be one of the most unique teams now in the FBS in College Football 26. I think this is super sick. I'm glad that they threw it on here just to kind of confirm, hey, we are getting those two new FBS teams in this game. And I'm sure this is definitely going to be a popular team to do a dynasty with in College Football 26. The same with Missouri State. I really like Missouri State's nickname. They go by Mo State, and that's obviously because the abbreviation for Missouri is MO. So Mo State, I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's cool to see Delaware here, and it's going to be fun to see Missouri State as well. And people actually made these teams already in College Football 25 in Team Builder. So you can see Delaware State right here. They have some pretty cool colorways going here. Like I said, I think definitely one of the most unique teams that will be in College Football 26. And then here is Missouri State or Mo State. They are the Bears. You can see their color scheme as well as their jerseys and logo and everything in this picture right here. So at the very least, if we don't get any non-FBS teams, we will have two new teams in this game, which will be pretty cool to see. Now moving on, here is a picture that I think also shows us some things that are going to be in College Football 26. So this guy here on the left that looks like he plays for Notre Dame, he is definitely wearing a ski mask. You can see that his neck is just all black. It definitely looks like a ski mask, or as some people call it, a shiesty. That's like a very common thing to be wearing these days in college football, which is kind of funny. And a lot of people wanted to see it in College Football 25, and it was not in College Football 25, but it looks like, at least from this picture, it's going to be in College Football 26, which is always nice to have new equipment and gear that you can wear in the game. Now, this other guy here on the right with the green helmet, you'll notice his hair coming out of his helmet. I don't know if this was a photo shoot and this was just the real guy's hair, or if they actually intentionally did this and this is going to be a hairstyle in College Football 26, because that hairstyle definitely is not in College Football 25. So again, especially if they're focusing on Road to Glory and, player customization, and they're adding things like ski masks, I could also see them adding more hairstyles like this. So that's something interesting to look at as well. And then I think this picture in general is just interesting because we definitely have a guy that looks like he plays for Notre Dame, but these two jerseys and these two guys on the right, those look like high school jerseys. I don't think those are any college teams that I can think of. And again, they already confirmed that high school is going to be in Road to Glory, but it just looks like they're kind of showing that again here. There's going to be high school in this game. And something to bring up that I haven't seen too many people talking about is, since there is high school in this game, there's going to have to be high school stadiums, right? Which means we're going to get some generic stadiums. They probably won't be massive stadiums, obviously, because they're going to be high school stadiums. But that is something we did not have in College Football 25 that we had all the way back in like NCAA 14 and 13. We had those, the generic, Southwest high school or Midwest high school, whatever they called them. And it was, just a generic looking high school field, some stands. There's normally a track around the field. And those were always fun to play with. And hopefully that means we're going to get that back in College Football 26 since high school is returning. And that to me is actually really, really big news, because hopefully we could use them with our team builder teams and we wouldn't have to use the existing stadiums that are clearly, branded for those schools. Like, I don't want to have to use Alabama Stadium or California Stadium when it's a completely different school, right? But hopefully we also have some generic stadiums that are not high school stadiums that are, big enough to be considered a college stadium. And there are actually some massive high school stadiums, especially like in Texas. So if we get something that big, that could definitely be a go-to stadium if you create a team builder college team. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is FCS teams. A lot of people every single year are asking, are we getting FCS teams? And I keep telling them, no, probably not. But Mike Straw on X, who we've gotten information from before, he said this: I'm talking to a few people about this. We know coaches are coming, but I've still not been able to confirm if any FCS schools are coming this year. The plan has always been to include them, but I've never been able to hammer down a timeline. And I don't know if that's like new information, because I don't ever remember hearing that the plan has always been to include them. I know they've said they've wanted to include them down the line at some point, but it didn't sound like an actual plan to include them, but maybe it is. And so Mike Straw is saying that, at some point we are going to get them. My guess though, it will not be this year, CFB 26. I think at the very earliest, we're looking 27, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's even further down the line than that. And that's just because it takes so long to create all these teams and put them in the game, especially with the stadiums, because I've heard that's super time consuming. So to get like a ton of FCS teams, my guess is what they'll end up doing is adding a few over time, like for a few, like 10 in this game and then 10 more in this game, something like that maybe. But either way, I guess technically it's up in the air if we're going to get them for CFB 26, but I'm pretty confident to say we're not going to get any FCS teams in college football 26. So the full reveal is coming out in May, so that, is next month. That's just a couple weeks away. So we'll get the full reveal, the trailer, we'll get to know basically everything about the game, and then it'll come out like 2 months later in July. So we're back, and we're definitely back on the content grind. So I'm going to keep you all updated on college football 26. So definitely subscribe here and follow me on all platforms at TubbyCFB.